Connor says tics, Tourette's. I struggle with tics. I don't know quite a lot about tics and Tourette's, but I believe it has something to do with this. It's related to the same thing I'm working on, which is the dysregulated default mode network and the salience network. Let me see. Zafar Shah invites you to co-host. I don't even know what that means. Let me see if I can find something on Tourette's. Give me just a second here, because I have my framework pulled up. I should be able to pull something out of there. That's the great thing about my framework is now that I have it established, I can just simply ask AI questions in the context of the framework and the master key, and it will answer the question. So looking at this through the NeuroGnostic framework, tics and Tourette's syndrome would represent a particularly intriguing manifestation of the hijacked default mode network and disrupted network dynamics. All right, so based on the framework, tics and Tourette syndrome would represent involuntary motor intrusion caused by impaired network gating and salience network (SN) dysfunction. Now, the core mechanism failed inhibitory control. In the framework's language, the listener, the salience network, has lost gating control over motor impulses. The task positive network, TPN, which normally executes voluntary conscious action, is being hijacked by involuntary signals. The default mode network may generate obsessive awareness of the tics themselves, creating a feedback loop. So probably, I would guess, the more you focus on the tics, do they get worse? Like, does it kind of create they build an amplitude? So like you start having your tics and then you focus on the tics and that they get stronger. So you kind of like get into an oscillation. The 3 network breakdowns, so the salience network dysfunction, the listener cannot gate. The salience network's role is to detect what is salient and important, decide which impulses to act on, and suppress irrelevant motor urges. In Tourette's, the salience network fails to filter motor impulses originating from the basal ganglia circuits. Irrelevant motor patterns are assigned salience, so aberrant salience, and the result is involuntary execution of non-meaningful movements. Oh, yeah. So Connor says, yeah, when I try to mask them. Yep, because you're feeding into the system because you're focusing on it, because that's what happens. Just give me a second here. So the task positive network normally executes conscious goal-directed action. In Tourette's, the motor commands bypass conscious control. The task positive network is forced to execute movements the listener did not choose. This is the opposite of flow. Instead of effortless voluntary action, there is effortless involuntary action. So default mode network amplification, the obsessive observer. So it generates obsessive monitoring of the tics. So you probably think like, when will the next one happen? It creates a narrative shame. I'm broken. People are staring. It amplifies the urge awareness through self-referential focus, and it creates a premonitory urges. So the default mode network's anticipatory narrative makes the urge more salient. So you are expecting more tics when you start ticking. The basal ganglia connection, neurologically, Tourette's involves dysfunction in the basal ganglia, the thalamocortical circuits, the brain's action selection system.